Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rines Report. This is your host, Tristan Blake Rines. Today I'm joined by Mark Morales, senior here at Radford University, studying production technology. Later on, we're going to have Radford Jr. Terrance Schoefield, as well as my regular guest, Nicholas Penninger. Of course, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl today. LeBron James asking upper management to bring in a playmaker. Big Ben Roethelisberger maybe retiring. What does that mean? And our guest's favorite team's offseason needs, as well as our guest picks for the Super Bowl. So let's just get this thing started underway. Going to be talking about LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony. Our resident Knicks fan can definitely get us some good insight on that.
All right. So the Knicks, as we know, we definitely have some holes on our defense, and I think they're trying to use Melo for some cap space because obviously we're spending a lot of money on him, and I think what they're trying to do is bring in some more young talent. So I see where they're going, but I don't think it's the right move. Mm-hmm. And obviously he has a no trade clause, so that's definitely in the way of them making any kind of deals that would really benefit him and the organization.
See, what came out basically earlier this week in regards to Carmelo Anthony was that LeBron James is asking for a playmaker for the Cavaliers, and it just didn't work out. They were trying to... There was an option of Kevin Love for Carmelo. And if you think about, this could happen. And, in the offseason, oh, yeah, we love playing with Carmelo. And, everybody's like, oh, yeah, we love playing with Carmelo. But there's plenty of opportunities where guys are like, hey, I don't know if we want to play with Carmelo. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's one of those... Is it about Carmelo, how he plays the game? Why he didn't go to the Cavs, or
right? But that's a good point. He doesn't fit. If you look at their lineup, you have J.R. Smith, Shumpert, Kyrie Irving, LeBron, Kevin Love,
Korver now,
and Korver. You have who else? I'm trying to think of their Tristan Thompson. Mm-hmm. Those are all role players, and Melo is not a role player. He wants to be the guy. He wants to be the main person, and that's the problem, because you can't go into LeBron's team trying to take over LeBron's team. Yeah. So that'll never work. Yeah. That would never work.
I don't know. It's, for me, the way the way that it was put to me basically the best was I was watching a few clips from the Herd, at least not yesterday, the day before, and basically how Coward put it was that, he's like that friend you see every couple of years, and you're like, oh yeah, let's do dinner, know our wives will totally get along. Then you don't see him, you don't call him, you never have dinner, and then you see him 2 years later and, oh sorry, I got busy. It's always something. It's just Carmelo. It's like you were saying, he wants to be the guy. You can't walk into LeBron James' team, maybe even Kyrie, even if it wasn't LeBron James there, for instance. You couldn't walk in there with Kyrie, I'm sure, and then try to take the team over.
Yeah, even if you went to a team like the Thunder, Westbrook would. Yeah. Westbrook would never give up that spot. That's his limelight now is the Oklahoma Thunder, because, obviously Durant's not there anymore, so he's taken over. So if you look, there's a lot of teams in the league that are like that. You got the Pelicans. Mm-hmm. Anthony Davis is not going to give that up. Even the Celtics, for one. They
were talking about getting him, actually, and as well as the Clippers are in that race. I mean, that's what was kind of coming around yesterday, is that both teams are in talks to get him. Mm-hmm. What it could mean for the Celtics, because Isaiah Thomas is the guy on the Celtics, and Al Horford is definitely a great player to complement that. If you bring in Carmelo, is he willing to be the number 2, or even in that case, maybe the number 3 behind Horford? There's a lot of questions there. If you were to go to Clippers, you're behind Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, Deion Jordan, even Crawford coming off the bench. He's pretty damn good too.
And the problem that I think every team has had with Carmelo Anthony is, how do you build around him? And I don't think there's been that one answer, because he hasn't been a playoff contender at all throughout his career. So there's no.
Except for 1 or 2 years when he had Iverson.
Right, and there's no formula for him that gets him into the playoffs, and that's the reason why nobody's willing to grab at him. I mean, he's talented. Yes, we can all agree that he has a scoring talent.
He's still a top tier player in the league. Exactly, but it's just something about how he plays is what throws people off. When I do watch Melo play, it's more of, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball.
Right.
He wants to be the guy, even if he's having a bad game. He's like, give me the ball. I need to hit points. Like, I feel like it doesn't intentionally, like, he doesn't intentionally go for stats. It's more of just, I gotta feel like I'm the best player on this team, so give me the ball. Like, you're good. You're getting a little older now, Melo. Yeah, I feel like he wants the ring in a sense, but he wants to earn it too. Because going to the Cavs would be nice, I suppose, but it's also like, in a sense,
it's a cop out.
Yeah, it's a cop out in the same sense of like, oh yeah, Durant went to the Warriors.
Exactly.
Like, it'd be so much uproar, like, oh Melo, you're just going for the ring, you're a sellout, you're not competing. Like, no, you're still competing. Everybody has to make their way there, but it's like, the reasons like Durant went to the Warriors, the best like things that I saw about it wasn't necessarily that. I feel like there was two main reasons. Really, going to the Warriors, you have a weight lifted off your shoulders. You aren't the one guy who has to carry the team.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, when he was with the Thunder, it was him and Russ, you know what I mean? But it was more Durant at the time. And another reason why he left the Thunder, I feel like, was Russ. Because Russ was like, I'm going to be the guy on the team. And I feel like that could have been a little bit of ego on some part, but it's more of Russ becoming a little more selfish with the ball as well.
I mean, that's true, but I think the main thing that played into that one was they couldn't stay healthy together. Like, you know, they would have 1 month where Russ was hurt and it was just Durant, and then, you know, vice versa. And that didn't play into them playing together and becoming a cohesive, you know, two-man team.
I mean, they play well separately. I mean, Durant's still doing good things, of course, in Golden State. They're still winning tons of games. I think they're like number one in the power rankings from what I've seen lately. I think the most part of this season has just been getting that initial, like, they're playing well together. Golden State, you know, with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Durant. They're playing well. It's just becoming a little more chemistry. There's just building that now. But he looks a lot more relaxed playing in Golden State than he was when he was playing with Oklahoma City. That's just the way I see it when he plays.
Right, and that's because he doesn't have to, you know, play up to being the player.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Knicks right now, we have Porzingis, Derrick Rose, Brandon Jennings, Joakim Noah, which I think Joakim Noah was a really bad decision. But
at least free throw percentage wise.
Just everything percentage wise. I mean, we brought him in to play defense, and he's not really living up to that.
Yeah.
He'll get boards every now and then, but because I watch the games, and
if they played with heart, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they don't.
They'd actually
do
be something.
You know. But
I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
But I mean, we have talent, and I think where do we go? Like, do we build around Porzingis?
I honestly think that's the best decision you guys could do. Do kind of what the Mavs did for a long time, was build around Nowitzki. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the talent for Porzingis is there, but I would like us to keep Melo only because we could bring in young talent
and have veteran leadership.
Yeah, we have Melo, like, come to the Knicks.
Yeah,
you know, so that's I think what's cool about having him is because we have that leverage. But
I mean, when you go into free agency and draft time, it's more about, you can't do it so much. The Knicks are always like, they always seem to have like decent spots, but they're never like the number one overall pick. They never like really do great with the lottery. The last time they did great with the lottery, Patrick Ewing, but like
you know, our problem is that we like to get, you know, draft foreign players. And when I watched
Porzingis is one of the great ones.
Yeah, well, I watched the draft and I was like, oh my God, here we go again with another foreign player and coming in, and we don't know how he's gonna be. But you know, he's turning out to be a key role player for the team. So
he
can't
must
argue
be a star
with
in the making. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's 7 feet tall. He moves like he's like 6'5". So.
And he can hit the three too. He can play from anywhere on the court as well.
So that works for us.
I think the smart thing to do is you can trade away Melo and possibly get some draft picks, maybe some good players to run along with them. And even as a Celtics fan, like, all my teams, you know, Boston teams, whatever, like, if I'm as a Celtics fan, I wouldn't mind getting Carmelo if he were to come in for the right reasons and not try to take, you know, the starlight from Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is playing like one of the top players in the league right now.
Yeah.
He's exciting to watch. I was just watching his highlights. And Schoel's going to the Clippers. So he would definitely, even in that case, going to the Clippers maybe. Like, he would definitely have to become more of a role player.
Right.
This happens.
I mean, but the thing I didn't like about the Clippers, we don't even have anybody in the big three from the Clippers coming to the Knicks, and that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you even want to trade him if you don't even include one of those three?
Yeah.
Like, we should at least be getting, Blake Griffin. we should at least be getting Blake Griffin for the deal.
You guys would probably have to give them a lot more to get Blake Griffin.
And we need a big man. If he goes, who else is gonna play that spot? I mean, we have Joakim Noah and Kyle O'Quinn, and
like you said, Noah doesn't like to play defense sometimes,
and he can't play offense. He's the offense liability.
Yeah,
I mean, when you watch the games, he gets the ball. The whole team backs away from him.
Yeah, they're like, well, we're going back down the court.
Yeah, they just go to the paint and like guard everyone else because he's not a threat.
The Knicks are the all-star team of like 5 years ago. Like if this was a team 5 years ago, they'd be like, oh, the Knicks are winning the finals. But like now it's like, well, we got Derrick Rose. From what I've seen, is like hasn't had a bad season.
No,
he's from injury.
He's playing great. I mean, I love his game. I always love point guards who, play that New York style because I grew up in New York. So
yeah,
I grew up driving to the paint and getting fouled.
Yeah,
and, you're playing through contact, and I love that about Rose. And I think that he's coming into his own finally.
Yeah,
and
barring
injury and all that stuff. So I'm happy for him to see him starting to play better, and I think. And
like I'm the same way. Like I actually liked Rose when he was with the Bulls. It was unfortunate seeing him get injured. You know what I mean? Like if he and Jimmy Butler would have been like Jimmy Butler's really coming into his own lately. You know what I mean? Like he's becoming a really star level player as well. If they would have come in together at the same time, and then eventually, like how they got Wade now, dude, they'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, that's a really good three-man team right there because they all play together.
Yeah,
they're all team players, and I like having Rose there because he is that team player that we need for that position.
And speaking on the Cavaliers part, because of the comments of LeBron James saying we need a playmaker, is this more of frustration? Is this more of like a mid-season lull that's hitting Cleveland right now? In my eyes, that's definitely what is happening, is that they're getting frustrated. It's like, this is middle of the season, like LeBron James, a lot of the veteran guys are like, we've been here before, we're still running the East, but I don't know, I just think like it feels more lax, and it's frustrating to not win even when you're relaxed, like just trying to bar through it.
Right, and I think that more plays to like is what do they have to do now?
Yeah,
like a lot of teams that were great for a certain stretch of years, they have that period of where they fall off because it's like they've done everything they needed to.
Yeah,
they came back 0-3 in the finals and came back and won the series. They've been there like 3 times already. So it's like, what do we have to do next?
Yeah.
So I think
it's more just like them waiting to get back there. Like they definitely turn it on effectively during playoff time, but it's more of it happens a lot of the time around the NBA with these veteran kind of teams, because LeBron likes to bring in the vets. He likes to bring in the guys who are just trying to chase the ring. Like Jefferson, and I'm sure Korver definitely wants a ring since he's in Cleveland. It's more, and we're all just waiting for the inevitable battle of the Warriors and the Cavs again. See how that plays out. The thing that separates though the Warriors and the Cavaliers at this part of the season is that the Warriors are still playing phenomenally because I feel like I was saying earlier, they're still building chemistry.
Right.
Like the more that they all play together and they're all effective all-star players, almost like the starting 5 for the Warriors were all pretty much almost all-stars except for maybe Draymond. I don't know if he made it this year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, they all could be all-stars because that team is just loaded.
Yeah.
But like this season, I actually kind of predict that the Timberwolves could make a good run this year. They have so much young talent, and I love that team. Like just watching them.
One of those sneaky teams, by the way, too, are the Jazz. The Jazz are like top 5 in the East right now.
Who's that guy? What's his name? The Greek Freak. I don't know his real name.
I don't think he's on the Bucks though.
Oh, they traded him. Oh no,
he's been for the Bucks.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out who I was talking about, but yeah, I mean, even the Bucks too, they have young talent too. They got Jabari Parker, the Greek Freak, and they have a team too.
Yeah,
so
they're still very.
There's
talented.
threats.
Yeah, and the young bloods in the East are starting to come for the Cavs. Like, we all realize. I think they're starting to realize this can only continue for so long. Like build your roster.
And even Charlotte last night was. I don't know if you watched the game. On Wednesday, Charlotte played Golden State, and it was pretty competitive.
Yeah, and
they were playing with them.
I feel like the East is tired of getting trampled over by the West as well too, because for the last almost 8 years, the West has been the supreme conference in comparison.
Right.
You know what I mean? The East is we got LeBron James.
Yeah.
And then for a while we had the Celtics big 3.
It's more of who's gonna play the Cavaliers at this point.
Yeah.
And
which, unfortunately for everybody, if you're an East fan, it's like, well, you're probably gonna see the Cavs. Like, it's more than likely going to happen.
And it sucks because basketball has changed so much because of the way LeBron plays by switching teams.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, we used to just watch
Jordan on the same team.
Yeah, Jordan's on the same team.
Patrick
and then
Ewing
Patrick Ewing on the same team. Kevin Garnett's on the same team.
Magic Johnson.
Like, everyone had that one player.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what's missing from the NBA now.
It's a lot more. There's not as much pressure if you want to move.
Yeah.
Since LeBron did it first. We saw the backlash when Durant did it, but imagine if he would have done it before LeBron. Just imagine that. Because, like, LeBron still being in Cleveland, like, how much, like, Durant meant to OKC. Like, we understand, like, how bad it was already. But, like, if he would have left, they would have been rioting in the streets, I'm sure. Like,
And I mean, that just comes with the game now. I mean, it's just changed the landscape. It's changed so much. But I mean, what can you do? It's basketball.
It is basketball. So after this little break here, we're going to be talking about what do the New York Giants need to do during this offseason. So I'm going to hit you guys a little bit of the Chainsmokers Roses. Join us right here after a couple songs and an ad. Enjoy, guys.
Your new favorite station. You like it, I love it. You like it, I love it. This is your man, Flo Rida. All the hits. The New River Valley's hit station. RFR. Radio Free Radford.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rines Report. This is just, again, Tristan Blake Rines, still joined here by Mark Morales. Talking now, what do the New York Giants need to do in this offseason? So I'll let you start off with what do you think they need to do first?
Well, obviously our offensive line needs some help. Eric Flowers and Marshall Newhouse, especially.
Mm-hmm.
We need to either figure out how to fix them or replace them, one of the two, because that was the worst regular season I've ever seen in some tackles in a long time.
Put a big old need sticker next to the offensive tackle position. Like, hey,
sure.
guys, upper management, let's make this happen.
Yeah, for sure.
For my target needs for them, I have them at offensive tackle, running back, and linebacker, but it's definitely an urgency to get them a tackle. Because Eli Manning cannot, take you any farther.
He's too old, man.
He's getting old. He's going to get exactly. Honestly, like, the targets that they should be looking at, I think Cam Robinson out of Alabama is not a bad pick at all. I've seen a couple of mock drafts here and there that he kind of goes around that same spot where they're drafting like 23.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Robinson would be an effective player if he's not up there. Ryan Ramczyk out of Wisconsin, big 6'3", like 315-pound tackle. He looks like a big old solid brick.
I know for us on our offensive line, I would really like to have someone who can move.
Yeah.
At that position,
The swing line.
Yeah, for me, I don't really want a big tackle. I would want someone who can like move around, because obviously Eric Flowers he's not a small guy.
No.
I mean, he's big, but he doesn't move, and we need
he's not
that.
quick enough on his feet to cover some of these steps.
Yeah, and especially with the Giants' playbook, you have to be able to move because they tried to run. So if
you're in a division full of a lot of good defensive line talent,
right,
Fletcher Cox, DeMarcus Lawrence is becoming a really good defensive end with the Cowboys. You see the Eagles, like I said, Fletcher Cox. Brandon Graham's not even a bad edge rusher either.
Not at all.
The Cowboys face some good talent. Chris Baker, even with the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, and if we win up a team like Texans, I mean, you have
Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt's going to be coming back. Watt,
so you would have two threats.
As well as the linebacking, which is, Whitley Merciless had a pretty darn good season this year.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, that's our biggest problem right now is our offensive line, because without that, our offense doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was another thing I wanted to bring up. Ben McAdoo, I don't know if I trust him yet as a coach. I really don't.
He's gotten better every season.
He has, but, I mean, last season...
I think he's been working... Well, he's been building the team a little better, but, like... The offensive line still needs work. I mean, he's doing good with what he's got.
That's true. But I feel like his play calling has been a little bit lackluster, especially towards the end of the season. And even in the beginning, when we lost those close games to Green Bay and we lost a close game to the Redskins, definitely should have won those two games.
Yeah.
But, play calling was an issue, and obviously the offensive line didn't help. So, those are things that we need to fix.
I mean, the general managing for the Giants it's doing its job because they found guys like Landon Collins. Sterling Shepard looks like he's going to be the guy to replace Cruz at some point soon.
I mean, and I love Cruz, and But
you realize that he's getting to the end of the road.
His time is coming up.
He's not a number 1, number 2 receiver anymore. He's still an effective slot, but Sterling Shepard's younger. He's got good hands, runs good routes still. He does everything Cruz does, just faster.
Right, and I mean that's another thing that I wanted to say is like I feel like McAdoo had these 3 receivers, and it only felt like Odell was getting the ball, and it would piss me off because you have these 3 guys, you should be able to get someone to produce. Like, it shouldn't just all be Odell, because it looks like Odell is the only good wide receiver on our team.
Yeah, I mean they have 3 good receivers.
Yeah, and it doesn't show that. And I feel like our offensive scheme needs to change or something. Something needs to change to get these guys open and involved in the game, because there's too much wasted potential in those 2 players that they're not performing.
Yeah, and most of the needs that the Giants have are on the offensive side of the ball. Besides tackle, I think that they could definitely go for a running back, even a tight end. Some mock drafts have taken
a tight end
would definitely help the game, especially.
It definitely would.
I've seen a couple of them as well. Let's say O.J. Howard out of Alabama, their tight end could definitely be a good spot for them in the first round. At 23 seems like a good pick, and he does good in the big games.
Yeah,
we've seen that. He torched Clemson both times they played him.
Right. I would like us to have a tight end. That was one of my biggest pet peeves with us is Larry Donnell didn't pan out. Yeah. And then we had Will Tye. He's okay.
Brandon Myers first season, he was okay.
Yeah. I mean, Will Tye is okay for right now, I guess, because he can block. Yeah. But he doesn't have that big explosive playmaking.
The last great tight end you guys had was Jeremy Shockey.
Well, we had Martellus Bennett.
He wasn't great then, though.
But he was. When we traded him, he was really good. He was producing, but I mean, we traded him, so.
But in terms of legendary players like Jeremy.
Oh, legendary players. Okay, well, yeah.
Like Jeremy Shockey is definitely that tight end you guys had.
Of course.
Like the guys who were really good when they played.
Right.
Martellus Bennett, when he was with the Giants, was producing, like you said, but he wasn't at the level now that he was at. Or excuse me, he wasn't at the level now that he was when he was younger. So, I don't know. Tight end, that's a good need for him. Outside of tight end, I could definitely see him picking up a running back this offseason.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our rookie, he's coming into his own. I really liked his style of play. He ran really hard this year.
Yeah, from what I saw in the playoffs especially.
And I think he's definitely a spotlight in that sense of the game, because the Giants have always been known to establish the running game first, and then pass the ball.
And Tiki Barber in the backfield.
Yeah, and we missed that. We missed that part of the game. And having that young guy come in and have some sort of an impact is really good for us.
But I think there isn't enough tape on him yet to say, this is our number 1 guy.
Yeah, he's not.
There have been some good things said. As a Giants fan, you notice it. But there's not enough there to say, this is definitely our number 1 guy. We're sticking with him. And he's going to be our starter next year. He's not like Matt Jones, is what
I mean, if we get Adrian Peterson, I would be so happy. If we get AP, I would be so happy. That would be great.
Because there's definitely been talk that they could possibly trade to get AP in the offseason, or if the Vikings decide to release him after all this time because of the injuries and the suspension. He's had good seasons when he's been there. It's just the last few years it's been spotty, I suppose.
Yeah.
Health especially. Somebody else I definitely see them getting is Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford. Seems like it would not be a bad pick.
He would be a good pick for us. But then again, we run the risk of he's a young guy. So,
well,
can he hold the ball? And
we've definitely seen that he's an effective college running back. I mean, he was up for the Heisman at one point, I'm sure, won a ton of awards, and it was great for Stanford. He was the guy in Stanford. He would be a pretty good pick, runs hard for what you guys need, especially if you guys get an offensive tackle, though, which is the first thing you guys need.
Yeah.
I wouldn't guarantee getting Christian McCaffrey. I'd say go free agency, try to pick up somebody there. That seems like the best
I think
idea.
Free agency is our best bet because we obviously need talent on the offensive line. And I don't know, maybe Eric Flowers and Newhouse might pan out at some point. But, that's just wishful thinking at this time. But, yeah, I mean, our holes are definitely on the offensive side of the ball. And then the next thing that we have to worry about is cap space. I mean, Odell's going to want to get paid. Collins is going to want to get paid. Janoris Jenkins is going to want to get paid. Because they all
well, you guys already paid Janoris Jenkins.
That's true.
He was y'all's free agent pickup.
There's going to be players on the team who want to get paid now.
Well, Jason Pierre-Paul is that big cap spot that you guys have to worry about.
Yeah, because he's playing. He's shown that he can play with this industry.
This one hand,
yeah. So I mean, and we didn't even have him in the playoffs too. So that is another reason why I think we didn't perform that well.
In this upcoming free agency for 2017, guys that are possibly going to be on the market. Le'Veon Bell, LeGarrette Blount could still hit the market. Eddie Lacy is looking to hit the market as well. There's a number of really good running backs. This is all sportstrack.com. And guys like D'Angelo Williams, Danny Woodhead is possibly going to hit free agency as well. There's a number of guys you guys could go after, the New York Giants could go after in the offseason. It's just a matter of actually getting them. I feel like Le'Veon Bell might be a little out of the reach for the Giants. Maybe
it would
for
be
cap space.
It would be, but I think he would fit very well because he's so patient when it comes to finding holes to run through that I think he would fit really well with us. But again, cap space is always an issue.
Yeah, so trying to get him for a price tag of like 15, because he's gonna look for a long contract.
Yeah,
he's hitting the market. He's looking for.
It's about that time.
Yeah,
it's about that time.
If he does hit the market, though, that's even if Pittsburgh lets him, walk during free agency. I'm sure they'll probably franchise tag him or something.
Yeah, I mean, they should franchise tag him because he's produced so much for them, and Roethelisberger's ending towards the end of his career.
Yeah, so. which is something we will transition into. He's been talking about how he might retire. He's made me learn. I'm not convinced he's going to.
I don't think so.
It doesn't feel like this season was a farewell tour to Big Ben. I don't think he's gonna pull a Tim Duncan and be like, yep, I guess I'll retire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's more of just sending signals to upper management about possibly a coaching change, because the team outside off the field, there's not a lot of really. What's the word I'm really looking for? They're not very grounded outside of the field, because we've seen Le'Veon Bell get a number of fines and suspensions for drug use off the field. Antonio Brown couldn't put his phone down after the game against the Chiefs in the playoffs and got fines. There's a lot of noise and chatter that happens during the offseason for the Steelers on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's true, and I think it starts with Mike Tomlin, like you said. I mean, because he's had his issues too, with tripping players during the game. I mean, so. You have
Tomlin's a good coach. I'm not gonna put it past him. I mean, he's from back in my hometown. Honestly.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's like you said. Every coach has their certain type of culture and how they run things. And the reason why the Patriots are so successful is because Bill Belichick has built that culture of we don't take any crap here. We're just about business and winning Super Bowls.
You come here to win.
You come here to win.
It's football.
And he doesn't take anything. So you go from a coach like that to Mike Tomlin, who's tripping players during the game. There's a difference in coaching. So,
and the tough thing about letting Tomlin go, I mean, the dude's won. He's won a Super Bowl, been to a couple, 3 really, and he's a good coach overall. But the numbers, against good teams, are just not there. They win games. They're regularly in the division hunt to win, but they're usually competing against the Ravens, of course, the Bengals maybe.
Right.
It's just at this point, I don't think you can let him go. I think you give him one more year. Maybe give Tomlin one more year. I mean, they made it to the AFC Championship, so there's enough of that.
Yeah, that's true.
They have the pieces. It's just more of the coaching just might need to change.
The culture is just how do you change the culture?
It's your locker room culture, which is true. What do you need to do? I'm trying to think of the exact wording here, but what kind of authority do you need to have? Right. And it doesn't seem like he has enough authority in that locker room. It feels like he motivates guys very well, but off the field, during the off season, they're not very football minded. It's like, we'll train a little bit here and there, we're still great players. There's plenty of talent on that team.
Yeah.
And for them to not have gotten back to the Super Bowl in the last, 5 years.
And that's kind of my thing with Ben McAdoo is that I see the same kind of thing in him. We have all this issue and talk around Odell in the beginning of the season with his temper tantrums, and obviously there's no place for that.
Yeah.
You know, if you're trying to win and you have this one guy on this who's going crazy.
Yeah.
Why haven't you like reprimanded him and stepped in some way?
Yeah.
And I didn't see that from him, and that's kind of where I have my doubts with Ben McAdoo. But we'll see. He's a young coach.
Yeah, and outside of the tight end, we also have also outside of running backs as well. The last thing I think they could be looking for is a solid linebacker. I think they can go after somebody in free agency. And the guy that I found on Sports Track last night, who's going to be who's been hitting free agency, is Lawrence Timmons. He's going to be 30 years old, hitting the offseason. Supposed to be a free agent. He might not make the cut for Pittsburgh, but he still plays great. I feel like they could get him for a good price on a short contract.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I kind of like our linebackers right now. We have Jonathan Casillas, who's been playing pretty well at his position, and I think, if we give him a couple more years, that he'll be the captain of the team.
Yeah,
I really
he plays well. It's just
I see that in him. It's just more of like the timeline, Who else do we have? We have Kelvin Shepard. Again, he's
okay.
He's all right.
He's just a decent linebacker when it comes to NFL standards.
Mm-hmm.
He can make him his player in the league here and there. Does his job, I suppose.
And then we also have Kennard too. So I mean, I like Kennard and Casillas right now as the leaders for that defense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I could definitely. It's just when I looked at it, I was like, Lawrence Timmons seems like he'd be a great fit for this.
Yeah, middle linebacker. Yeah, because he could be
He has the veteran leadership, of course,
right.
And there's still some young players on that team. It's a good mix on that defense.
Mm-hmm.
McAdoo's found, like I said, some good players. Landon Collins was in the race for Defensive Player of the Year at some point this year, and I think he's still nominated.
Yeah.
Really great player. Like I've always said this, that I thought we should have picked him up. I didn't necessarily think we needed a safety or anything like that as the Patriots, but we could. I really wish we would have got Landon Collins. Yeah. I love that kid.
He was supposed to go to the Bears, I think. Janoris Jenkins or Landon Collins, one of the two.
Well, he was the number one pick in the second round.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
But there was someone on the board who was before us that should have picked him up. I think it was the Bears. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, those two have been really coming into their own, and honestly, I was really surprised. Even though we spent a whole lot of money on our defense this year, I really didn't see them.
Like Olivier Verder and Janoris Jenkins coming in.
Yeah, I really didn't see that either. And even Romeo Arqua came out of nowhere, took JPP's spot, and was making plays. And I honestly feel like he
Snacks Harrison, by the way, too. David Harrison, the defensive tackle.
Yes, Snack Harrison too. And Romeo Arqua, he's gonna be in the starting lineup, I feel.
Yeah.
Soon.
You feel like that gives the Giants more leverage to possibly have JPP walk? I think he's a superstar talent that you shouldn't, but like it gives you more leverage when it comes to contract.
That's true. And I feel like if you let Romeo Arqua develop with JPP, that he'll just will be more of a threat, and we'll be able to switch them out in between plays, and you'll still have two threats on the defensive line. Because
they do like to play the 4-3. I feel like, because you need the two big defensive tackles in the middle, but if you were really going for pass rush, it could look a lot like the 08 defense, where it was like a 3 defensive speed rush kind of defense with a 1 tackle, where they had Strahan, they had Justin Tuck, and I think Pierre-Paul might have been, he was pretty young at the time.
He was there. He was just young.
Oh, no, not 08. It was... But they did run those two young guys, young guys, Strahan and Tuck, though. Those were great, two defensive end tackles. So now they have Olivier Vernon and JP. So I don't know. I feel like they could get him. It's going to cost them a pretty penny regardless, but I think it just gives them more leverage when it comes to talking about Arqua on the contract talks. It's like, hey, we have this young guy who's proven he can do it. If we need him to do it, like he did well against Dallas. You know what I mean? Like we saw that.
And they have one of the best offensive lines in the league, if not the best.
Yeah, if not the best. I think, like, statistically, I had heard that the Titans actually had a really solid offensive line this last season, too. So they're a team to look out for as well. So we're going to hit you guys a little break here. After we come back, we're going to get a little bit of back and forth about this upcoming Super Bowl.
Hey, everyone, this is Demi Lovato. And you're listening to today's Top Hits
Radio Free Radford.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rines Report. This is, again, your host, Tristan Blake Rines, joined by Mark Morales. And we're going to be talking right about now the Super Bowl. Since I have my guests, this is the lead up to the Super Bowl. I've loved to rattle their brains. I think I'm going to start keeping a tally of picks and scores and whatnot to see who is the most accurate when it's all said and done. So I'm going to start off really quickly. Your Super Bowl pick and why. Please give me the best in-depth response you can possibly give me.
Okay, so I'm a Giants fan, so I have to go with the Falcons. No,
that
but
one was coming, right?
No, but the reason why I picked the Falcons is because they're playing out of their minds this year. I mean,
yeah.
If they had 11-5 regular season, you have Matt Ryan with 0 interceptions. His completion percentage was 70.7. His QBR was 132.6. And if you compare that to Brady, Brady just had a 62.5 with 2 interceptions, and his QBR was 99.5. So, I mean, just looking at that alone, that's
when you
pretty...
look at it, they both had great seasons.
They did. And, I mean, you can argue that Tom Brady he missed a couple games. So
He missed 4.
He missed 4. So,
yeah.
He didn't have a full season, so that could
But without
contribute
4
to that.
games, you think about that. And
Right.
he had astounding numbers.
Right.
And it's not the first time that somebody could, and speaking of MVP and back and forth, it wouldn't be the first time somebody wins the MVP missing games during the season. Joe Montana did it with 3 games missing back in the day.
And I mean, that just speaks to his talent. But, I mean, for me, the Falcons' running game is so instrumental in the Super Bowl because...
It keeps you off balance.
Because, Devontae Freeman had 11 TDs in the regular season.
Yeah.
That's
And Tevin Coleman
insane.
had some good receiving touchdowns, I'm sure.
Right. And, backed up with Julio Jones and
Mohamed Sanu. Taylor Gabriel, pretty good receiver as well, coming out of Cleveland, which is a little sub thing as well. There are like 5-6 players who used to be former Browns. So what does that say about the Browns if you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, they have talent. They just don't know how to...
Well, it's upper management.
That quarterback position.
To me, that just shows you that it's an upper management problem, not necessarily a player problem.
I mean, for me, what I wrote down is the most important part of this game is the defense and the running game. Yeah. I mean, whichever defense can show up the most is who's going to win, in my opinion.
So this is where we're going to start debating a little more because, I mean, as we've gone through on multiple broadcasts, like Nick kind of points out too, you have your fandoms. I'm a Patriots fan. I'll say that easily. But even as an analyst, I'm going to sit here and pick the Patriots. Mainly because they had a really good defense this year. They put up great numbers. This is going to be the best defense Matt Ryan's going to have played all season, by the way.
True.
And you could argue, say, Seattle in the playoffs, but they had a lot of injuries on that defense,
right.
And they just couldn't cover anybody. I say this is going to be the best matchup for the Falcons this season, the most challenging one. Mainly because you have Bill Belichick, who is arguably the greatest offensive mind to ever coach the game.
Right.
And then you also have a great defensive coordinator he has, Matt Patricia, who was up for head coaching jobs. He was in the conversations here and there and decided to stick with the Patriots. The Patriots defense, Dante Hightower, one of the younger guys, Trey Flowers, is coming into his own, playing very well. Chris Long playing out of his mind. The secondary is playing very well too. So when you go against guys like Belichick, and then you also have the couple of offense of Brady being a top 10 offense, top 5 I'm pretty sure this season too. What do you do if you're Dan Quinn, if you're Kyle Shanahan? That's what it comes down to me. It's like you look at the personnel, and you do say defense. I feel like this game is about. I think give it a 10-point difference either way. Whoever wins, I feel like it's going to be a 2-possession game.
I gave it a 7.
7. It's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we want it to be close.
Yeah, everyone wants it to be close.
But the way the offenses are looking, you know what I mean? It's going to be by 10 points. I feel like the Patriots hold them to less than 30 points.
I think both sides hold less than 30.
I feel like it could. I'm thinking my final score could be. I'm thinking 33-23 New England, if you give it that. But my pick could change within the next week. Maybe my scores could change.
I mean, obviously. But
we have still have a full week to go. We
right.
have 9 days and somewhat hours.
A lot of things are subject to change, too.
Yeah.
So, But, I mean, my thing is, you're right. I mean, the defense for the Patriots is so well-rounded. I mean, with the Falcons, you have so many questions. You have 4 rookies that are starting.
Yeah, their defense is very young.
And
a lot of second-year players as well in that defense.
Yeah, so, I mean, with that, obviously, I'm a realistic person. So, I'll tell you what I think. But, I mean, I like the Falcons in this game only because I always root for the underdog.
Yeah.
So I mean, I always love that underdog.
Because if
story.
you're not in it, there's plenty of like these fake statistics, so to speak.
Yeah.
Where it's like statistics, like 15% of people rooting for the Falcons are actual Atlanta Falcons fans, and then the remaining 85% is like
people who hate the Patriots.
People who hate the Patriots, yeah.
I mean, I will put myself in there. I
Yeah.
mean, I hate the Patriots only because they're just so successful, and you get tired of seeing them on TV all the time. It's
An interesting statistic is that Tom Brady, except for the 08 season, for every season that he started, the 08 season, 09 was the one where he had the knee injury. Every season that he started, 47% of the time that Tom Brady plays, like, they go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's almost half.
And
which is insane. So it's like it's almost every other year Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl, which is why I can definitely understand why people hate the Patriots. Was we're there.
Yeah, there's no disputing that. I mean, he's great, and I don't know. I just feel like this offense for the Falcons is just, I love watching them play. I mean, you have Julio Jones he's crazy. He's just he makes catches that.
You can't doubt Julio. He's already the best receiver in football.
And another interesting thing is, Matt Ryan has been one of the most accurate throwers when it comes to deep balls.
Yeah.
Like his deep, that game that they've been playing with, the deep ball is really good for them, and it's been working.
I mean, what we've seen that, to put more points towards the Patriots, what we saw against Pittsburgh is they like to go deep a lot. They shut down Antonio Brown, man. Like, I think he had like 6 catches on the day at pedestrian receiving yards, no touchdowns. Or he might have had like 1. It just wasn't a very good game for Antonio Brown, is what I'm saying. And made the Steelers look like they were like a regular team, like average.
Right.
Which we talked about here and there a little bit with the Steelers and what the problems are. But it's more of like the Patriots are just too good.
Yeah. Again,
to me,
it's the Patriots, they're always good, but I don't know. I really like how Julio Jones has played this season, and I feel like, some of the calls that he hasn't gotten, he might get this game,
He could.
He couldn't. We'll see. And that's not to go without saying, he still has talent to back him up.
Yeah.
He has Sanu, he has Freeman, he has, their tight end is really good too. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like if they don't get any production out of Julio, at least they'll still have 3 other players to back him up.
I mean, Ryan distributes the ball very well. There's no question about that. He has the receivers to do it. It's going to be a task. I'm not saying the Patriots win this handily. I'm saying it's going to be a good game. And every Super Bowl that the Patriots have won, or even been in, have been by 3-4 points.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good game. I'm expecting it to be a good game. A lot of people think it's going to be a shootout. I really think defensively is what it comes down to. You have 2 defensive coaches. Dan Quinn, big defensive head coach. Bill Belichick, of course, great defensive head coach. This is why I think it sticks under 30 points with the shootout, honestly. It could still go there. I wonder what your score is total for Atlanta, though. What do you think the final score will be for them?
Okay. I'm going to go on a limb and say they get 27.
So 27 to what? What do you think the Patriots put up?
The Patriots, will put up 24.
24, so it's a 3-point game.
Because I love watching football and it's close. Yeah. Because that's when it's the most fun.
I say I'm gonna keep track of it, and then we'll go back, and after the Super Bowl, I'll throw you guys all under the bus if you're wrong.
No, I mean, go ahead.
Maybe there'll be a little prize or something. I don't know. I'll think of something within the next week. If whoever gets the closest to the actual score, it's like there's so many things to bet on. By the way,
there is
the Super Bowl. Like people are like, oh yeah, what's the coin in me? How many times are they gonna show Tom Brady's wife? Like,
yeah, well, she is a very beautiful woman. So
But I saw that a few years ago when we played the Giants. It was like, there's betting lines for everything when it comes to
how many
Super
times
Bowl.
they'll show Peyton Manning?
Yeah, like during the Giants one.
Yeah. The one with the Broncos, when the Broncos made it too, they had Eli show up a couple times, and his face was pretty funny. Eli's facial expression.
Oh yeah, when they were beating the Panthers, and his face just looked like, oh man, like
it looked like somebody stole his candy.
Yeah, now I'm not gonna be the only one with 2 rings.
Yeah. So now he's not the big little brother anymore.
Yeah, in a sense. And then there's still Cooper.
Yeah.
Well, Cooper, it's like it's unfortunate for the Mannings. It's like 1, 2. Oh yeah, Cooper. By the way, you're still 3 no matter what happens here.
Do you know if they ever said who's performing for halftime this year?
It's Lady Gaga.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
They released that a while ago.
I was hoping they do Bruno Mars again, because that was
Bruno Mars was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great performance. I don't know. I just figured he would be the one, since he dropped a new album. So
yeah. Well, Bruno's been in it a few times already. So.
Yeah, he was there last year, right, with Beyonce?
It was Red Hot. No, it wasn't. That was Coldplay. It was Beyonce, and it might have been him. Yeah.
Yeah,
he might have featured. It was like a surprise feature.
Yeah.
Into
he
it.
was a surprise feature.
But he's done it a few times now. That being said, then because he did the Super Bowl a few years ago, and Bruno Mars is gonna be in it. He's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah, he
especially when I walk around campus with a fedora on. It's like, hey, you look like Bruno Mars. I'm like, hey, tell me that again.
It's because we're in Roanoke, Virginia, so you wear a fedora anywhere here, they'll be like, oh, you look like Bruno.
Yeah.
It's like, not really.
So I got Mark Morales here. So his final score, he's gonna have Atlanta for today. I'm just gonna quote this for now because he could be joining us next week. He's going to have Atlanta 27-24. So very thankful to have him on the show today. We're going to hit you guys with a break here soon. So, I don't know. Enjoy, guys. We're going to be playing some... What do you think we should play, man? Let's play...
Play some Bruno. You're talking about it.
Well, yeah,
Might
you're
as
right.
well.
Do we have Bruno on the... No, we don't. So, unfortunately.
My fault.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's just play some... Oh, man, there's so many choices here. Let's go with Ellie Goulding Burn for now. And I'll hit you guys with some songs. We'll be back. Stay tuned, guys. I'll be joined here by a couple guests, Nicholas Penninger again, as well as Terrance Schoefield. We'll be talking, of course, the Raiders. We're going to talk the Cowboys and, of course, the Super Bowl once again. So stick around, guys. Thank you very much for listening.
All the hits. Radio Free Redford.
I don't want to plug anything.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rines Report. This is your host, Tristan Blake Rines. I'm joined by Terrance Schoefield, as well as, of course, Nicholas Penninger, once again, our bright Raiders fan.
All the time.
So we're going to start with Terrance. We're going to talk about what do the Cowboys need to do this offseason. So I'm going to let you start it off. What do you think their biggest need is this offseason?
Really, honestly, I think that we need to work on our secondary. That's our biggest fault. I feel like that our rushing defense is pretty good. The defensive tackles, the linebackers, because we have one of the best linebackers in the league, as in Sean Lee. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that we have that. Yeah. And basically the only way we are beaten every year is because of our secondary. I'm not saying that we don't have...
Well, when you play Aaron Rodgers in your last game of the whole year...
It was a difficult path.
I call it luck. Yeah. I call it luck.
Aaron Rodgers sure got a lot of that then, huh?
A lot.
Those were a lot of lucky passes he was throwing against you guys. That was way too much luck.
That's a little more than luck. That's a lot of skill.
But I'm a Cowboys fan, so
yeah, that's a lot of luck.
It's like the Steelers. If anyone ever beats you, it's luck.
Well, my biggest need for the Cowboys is I think what they could do to make the team complete is have a really solid defensive end. Because DeMarcus Lawrence played pretty well in that game, but not enough, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, if they have one more edge rusher, I think that really makes the difference for them overall. Like it can solidify. The secondary didn't play too bad.
Right, they didn't.
The offense was, of course, phenomenal. It was just,
and they had to stop getting suspended.
Yeah,
that's their main issue, isn't it? That team is always stacked.
McClain got suspended.
But then people always get in trouble.
Yeah, and I think a receiver could make the passing game more dangerous. Like Terrance Williams is okay as a receiver, but we've seen him, not stay in bounds or go out of bounds when he should have gone out of bounds.
Yeah, seen that too.
I mean, he's okay. He's not a normal receiver who can replace Des Bryant in case he gets suspended for some reason.
Des Bryant's so good,
or he gets hurt or something.
What is the linebacker's name that came from Notre Dame that we picked up?
Jalen Smith. He's coming back.
Yes. Yeah. If we get him come back and he's healthy after his injury.
Yeah, I almost put linebacker on there, but I was like, wait a minute, Jalen Smith's coming back. So,
you do realize there's only one offseason move that the Cowboys need to make.
Which
that's to re-sign Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy. Oh,
really?
goodness.
No, never. We don't need that man's back.
Greg Hardy was a monster.
He was
Greg Hardy was so good.
You and I talk about it once in a while, like how Des Bryant's great. Dude, that dude is legitimately a psychopath.
But I've said that.
He don't have it all.
But I've said before, Greg Hardy's risk to how good he is, I would take it. Greg Hardy's a monster.
You would take you would take him to the Raiders every time.
Yeah, same way I thought it was a good deal to take Alden Smith.
Yeah.
When you're pass rushing, I mean, people seem to forget that Alden Smith, for example, was, if not the best, one of top 3 best pass rushers in the league for a little bit.
Yeah, until he
decided that weed was more important to him than football. But I mean, that happens. That's football.
Yeah.
Look at Josh Gordon. That's the same thing with Josh Gordon. Would you sign Josh Gordon if you got a chance?
Oh, heck yeah.
Of course you would.
But what you gonna sign him for when he's not gonna play for you? You gonna be paying somebody?
He might not play for you.
You just don't give him guaranteed money.
Yeah, he might not play for you, but he might learn his lesson. Your team might end up being stacked.
See, if he went to the
okay,
Patriots,
Johnny Manziel.
If he went to
Johnny Manziel's different. Johnny Manziel never got proven in the NFL. Josh Gordon did.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon was nice.
There was a lot of hype behind him.
Greg Hardy was nice.
There was a lot of hype behind Manziel because they thought, oh yeah, he has a ton of potential, but there's also a ton of downside to having Johnny Manziel too.
Well, his college numbers were ridiculous.
Yes, they were.
If you're just looking at college numbers, you have to sign him at least once. Now, granted, where
Give him a chance,
the Browns
at least.
picked him was kind of ridiculous.
Now nobody wants to touch Manziel, and he's I'm trying to get back in the league. He's almost like Jamarcus Russell.
I think somebody might.
Jamarcus Russell. Oh my
I wouldn't compare
god.
Johnny Manziel.
That's bad. That's real bad.
That's right. He didn't.
He's not.
He's not 350
Oh,
pounds.
Jamarcus. Yeah, see, Jamarcus's problem was once Jamarcus got too much money because that was before. Remember before rookie quarterbacks had a limit.
Yeah.
So then he discovered codeine, and it just became it was all over. Jamarcus realized that that was the thing is Jamarcus didn't like football. Like that was one of the things that they realized.
It was just a means for him to make money.
He didn't enjoy playing football.
He just wanted to make that check.
Yeah, and he did. He made I think Johnny Manziel actually likes football. And I think he enjoys what he's doing.
He
likes to party too much.
He just can't stay. Like, didn't I tell you about the dollar bill thing that you had no idea happened? Didn't I tell you about that? When they caught him coming out of the bathroom originally with a rolled up dollar bill in his hand.
Oh my goodness.
And then they caught him in the bathroom rolling a dollar bill. I was like, oh, Johnny.
Johnny Manziel.
Can't keep doing that, man.
The GOAT.
I think Johnny will play again.
He still has a chance.
I don't know.
It would take some.
Maybe the Jets.
The Jets. And I could see
Maybe the
it.
Jets.
The Jets are hurting for quarterbacks.
Maybe
man.
the Jets. They took Michael Vick.
They did. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, as a backup, maybe.
Is Ben Roethlisberger going to retire?
Yeah. Before you guys got here, Mark and I were talking about how the direction of the Steelers is not a very healthy environment for players, though. So I could maybe not Pittsburgh for Manziel, but Getting back to the Cowboys' needs, though, I could definitely see them going for Calais Campbell's hitting the market. If they could get him for a decent price,
Calais Campbell, he played for the
Cardinals, the 6'8" defensive run stopping monster.
Was he the one that the Raiders fans threw pennies at?
Maybe, I don't know.
Or was that Darnell Dockett?
No, it was Darnell Dockett.
That's probably Dockett.
I think
that
it was Dockett.
Was funny.
Yeah,
he was they're all jerks in Oakland. He was sitting there talking to him. They were pelting pennies at him. I'm like, hey, shout out Oakland.
Well, maybe it won't be in Oakland anymore. They're still they're waiting to get. I think they're still trying to wait for the
Vegas. Right?
It's still a long process.
Yeah, that would be.
It's not like it's an overnight process. Moving to Los Angeles.
There's still a lot of moves they have to make. Yeah, right.
The Chargers, the Rams.
How long did that take?
2 seconds.
Wait, so the Chargers and the Rams are both now
gonna be in LA.
That I don't agree with that. Me either.
I don't like that. Well, first of all, moving out of St. Louis, I think is a good move.
Well, moving out of St. Louis, yeah, but San Diego, there was no reason for them.
No,
they're already in California.
Yeah, and their fan base was there.
It's almost like it would have been insane as if the Raiders we're thinking about going to LA too. How about you guys don't do that?
I mean, to be honest, it made more sense for us to go to LA than either of them.
Because then you want to put a winning team in.
Right, and in LA.
Ooh.
How messed up would that be, honestly? Because Derek Carr went down, obviously.
Well, yeah.
That would have beat the Patriots.
What if we went to Vegas, right? And the first, we would have.
Yeah,
we would have won the Super Bowl easily.
Oh, I ain't saying that. I ain't giving you all that. I'm not giving it all that.
Who would we end up against? Let's just say we end up against Falcons, right? Because if the NFC went the way it went,
you guys wouldn't have made it past New England. Yeah, and you know it because the
I don't
defense
know
for
it.
the
I
Raiders.
don't know it.
The
I
defense
don't
for
know
the
it.
Raiders
I
is
don't
not
know
that
it.
good.
Our defense is not that good, but we have the one player who you don't need a good defense
Khalil
because he'll
Mack.
kill your whole family
Khalil
with one swipe.
Mack. Khalil Mack.
You'll think that everything's
He's gonna
going
rock
good
Tom
for
Brady,
you
yes.
until he runs from the side and punches you in the face and swipes the ball out of you. What was it? 3 games in a row where he got stripped fumbles or forced fumbles
It
in the
was
last
something
play.
like that,
He's
yeah.
ridiculous.
He's the
Well,
man.
you and I have had
Defensive
this
player of the
race.
year.
He's the great. I think so.
You and I have had this debate before where it's like Belichick takes away your best player. You don't think he could take away Khalil Mack for at least 3 quarters?
No.
On offense, no, but on defense, yes.
I don't think anybody.
It's different from taking away an offensive player than defense.
I don't think anybody
We
can take away
did.
Khalil Mack.
We take away J.J. Watt almost every time we play.
Yeah, but
J.J. Watt is better. If you think about it, J.J. Watt is definitely
Nah.
better than Khalil Mack. He's not maybe, dude. J.J. Watt, 3-time defensive player of the year, and running for
total.
MVP.
You mean just like pass rushing effectiveness?
I'm talking about.
Because I mean,
just-
what is JJ Watt really? He's a pass rusher, right?
I mean, that's it.
J.J. Watt can play all over the line though. He can
Okay, but here you
But
go.
a pass
Here you go.
rusher.
Yeah, you got in the shotgun. They got one play. You got someone rushing the passer.
That's
you
it,
want
that's
Khalil
him.
Mack coming after him or JJ Watt?
They're both pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
I'm
a
neither
tough
one.
choice.
If I had a choice,
That's
neither
like,
one.
If you're picking poison, I mean, you're still dying either way. But it's like,
Yeah, the only difference is Khalil Mack is faster.
yeah.
Way faster. I mean, he gonna catch you off the end every time.
The reason I say J.J. Watt is because he does more for that defense than Khalil Mack does for that defense.
I mean, but does he really though? Look how good their defense was without JJ Watt.
Point. That's a
That's
very
that's
good
a
point.
good point.
Does he
But-
really?
But then think about this: how
Now-
bad the Raiders still have a bad defense
You can.
with
I
Khalil
was gonna
Mack.
say the only good argument is look how bad the Raiders defense still is. But I don't blame them. I blame
That's in
Ken
the
Norton
same.
Jr.
That's like just like the Cowboys. Their secondary. Everything else is great except secondary.
Yeah.
The Cowboys. Well, the Cowboys had a good secondary
The
this
Cowboys
year.
are nice.
They are nice.
Who are the Cowboys cornerbacks?
The Cowboys cornerback.
We got
Derek
Brandon
Carr,
Carr,
Scandrick,
Scandrick. We got Morris Claiborne. We
Yeah.
got Brown.
and then you have Church.
I don't like-
who's like a hybrid
Yeah,
linebacker playing
and
safety.
I don't like
Byron Jones.
most.
Byron
of them.
Jones. I
Yeah,
love
and,
Byron
yes.
Jones.
I
At
think
UConn.
Yes.
just like with us, you guys need to make cornerback moves.
Yes,
also.
we do. Most definitely. I
I think
definitely
that's
agree.
your-
If
I
we
think that's
if
where
we
you-
get that, our rush defense is already there.
Uh-huh.
So the secondary, man, I'm
I
telling.
don't
I feel
trust.
it.
I don't trust Scandrick
Me either.
No.
at all.
No.
At
But
all.
I like Byron Jones.
Scandrick is that guy in Madden who, when you just need a corner, because
You
in
just
your
pick up
fantasy draft you forgot
Orlando
to grab
Scandrick,
one.
yeah.
You pick up one. That's never a good thing to be. You never want to be that guy. Yeah, no, Orlando Scandrick, I don't think he's worth it.
Well,
And-
I'm not saying he's like a top tier corner,
Brandon Carr is
but just
nice.
naming their corners though, like they're not like I don't think they're the worst corners in the league. You know what I
No, you could argue that we're worse.
mean? Oh yeah.
I mean, our best cornerback was supposed to be Sean Smith, and he had a terrible year.
Yeah.
He got benched a couple times.
So he's the best corner.
And then you know what we got after that? You know who's after him?
What was his name?
DJ Hayden.
DJ
The
Hayden.
GOAT.
Who was the other?
He's the other guy who when you're fantasy drafting and you forget
No,
you pick him.
Amerson.
David Amerson.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the Raiders.
He's young. He's young.
We will get to the Raiders off-season needs. We've just gone all over the place because I love this show.
Because of Greg Hardy. He derails everything.
You started things with Greg Hardy, and we just went off the rails.
Do you think he'll get re-signed from someone?
No.
No.
You don't think Greg Hardy ever play again?
No. Not after what came out after he was like done with the Cowboys. Like they're like, oh yeah, we found more into the investigation. And he totally beat this girl. Yeah, he's not playing
and
again.
the actual story of what he did is far worse than beating her.
Yeah.
They said that he threw her on a couch full of assault rifles.
Yes.
Which, by the way, is if it's not the coolest thing I've ever heard, it's second to coolest. Like, I feel terrible for him.
Like getting back to the Cowboys, besides defensive end, I was thinking Calais Campbell, Jabal Shear maybe, because you can get it for a low contract. He's a pretty solid pass rusher. Wide receiver who's gonna hit the market if you don't go the draft for Isaiah Ford, which I think would be a good spot.
What's their pick?
Their pick.
Well, what's their first round pick? If they have one, I don't know if they do.
I don't even know if this came up.
I'm sure they have. I think they have a first round pick. I just don't know. I think it's late 20s. So I think they could definitely pick up Isaiah Ford at that spot, the tech receiver. But if not him, if they wanted to go free agency, Pierre Garçon.
I don't.
Too much
that's-
money.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
gonna want his money.
I think that you could probably get
too
him.
much money.
You,
I don't think
you
so.
could possibly get him for a good deal because he'd probably want to get go for a championship or something. You could get that. You could possibly put that on the table.
He might, but let me tell you something. You're telling this guy you're going to get less money and you're going to play with Des Bryant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just saying I could see it happening.
Maybe the NFC East has a tendency to send their best players to their opposition.
Yeah.
Deshaun Jackson going
Alfred
back to
Morris,
Eagles.
Deshaun Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what Deshaun Jackson's doing.
Thinking about the Eagles.
Thinking about the Eagles.
Yes.
Man, I'm so mad he didn't go to the Raiders.
Yeah.
All because Roger Goodell wouldn't allow it because of his gang ties, which makes me so angry. They literally told him he couldn't go to the West Coast.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he refuted him, but like.
They literally told him you cannot play in California because we weren't the only people that wanted him. There were.
Deshaun's a beast.
Yeah, we weren't the only
speed.
California teams looking into him.
Yeah,
and then they literally
Chargers.
told him. They said no. They said you're not going to the West Coast. It's not going to happen. It's too dangerous. Which makes me so angry. Like, you really think Deshaun would go to the Redskins if he had a choice? Yeah, you can. They overrule things all the time.
That's
I mean,
NFL commissioner.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Des Bryant. And I tell you about all the things Des Bryant has in his contract.
Yeah.
He's like babysitted. He can't go to strip clubs. He can't go to bars at certain times. He can't go out with certain people. He has a curfew. Because Des Bryant will just kill anybody. Des Bryant takes things too seriously. He's a monster.
And to finish up with the Cowboys, though, this is a good question I decided to ask was who do you think wins Rookie of the Year? Because it's between Zeke or Dak Prescott. Who do you think who do you think wins? And then secondly, who is more valuable to that team? Because I do have solid answers for that.
You could go. It's your team.
Yeah, go take.
I could
take
put
a
it like
seat.
I think that. Well, personally, Zeke.
Zeke is more valuable, or do you think he's going to win Rookie of the Year?
He's going to win Rookie of the Year.
So
he's shown it every game. I'm not saying Dak hasn't, but he's just been more effective. We all knew we needed a quarterback, but if you have a running game,
like you and I were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but then on the other part of the question is who do you think is more valuable to that team?
Dak.
Yeah, which is that's what exactly.
It's
my
Dak.
answer are the
So
same.
it's Dak every day.
Zeke put up ridiculous numbers with that offensive line, and that's why he'll win Rookie of the Year. I'm very sure.
What did he end with?
He ended with like 1,800 yards. I'm pretty sure.
He beat DeMarco Murray.
Oh yeah, he beat him by like a good margin. I'm pretty sure.
A large margin.
A large margin.
Yeah. No. I think Zeke is definitely going to win Rookie of the Year.
He had tremendous numbers.
Absolutely, but yeah.
You gonna do it next year?
Next year, if that offensive line's still healthy.
Oh my God!
Always.
That offensive
line.
Number one, baby. I love it. I love it.
They would deserve any award, him or Dak win.
I would say that you're close to number one. Offensive line.
Well, behind the Raiders.
Did you see our stat line though for offensive line?
Besides right tackle.
No, I mean
because Von Miller would destroy you guys.
effectiveness
every time.
Von Miller destroys everybody. What's the difference?
But it was definitely a lot worse when he played you guys.
A lot worse.
Yeah, maybe.
The difference between the Cowboys and the Raiders is our right tackle, which we will talk about.
I don't even know who our right tackle is on the top of my head.
It's a vacant slot.
It's because I'm so busy.
Y'all can have Doug Free.
I get so hyped. I'll take Doug Free.
Oh yeah, nah, he ain't going nowhere. Are you kidding
We'll
me?
take Doug Free.
No,
he's our weakest link.
But I will talk about.
Isn't that crazy? That Doug Free
is the
your
weakest link.
And
And
he's great. He's a beast, but he's our weakest link. That's crazy.
Monster.
You guys don't
I
need
still
another
take him though. I
tackle.
love him.
Yeah, but who are you gonna replace him with?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody.
Put
Because
Lyle Collins out on the edge. Though.
No.
It seems like these. I mean, because usually most people believe that left tackle is the most important offensive line position. You could argue that left tackle is, if you have all other terrible offensive line, then left tackle can have the biggest impact. I feel like these days right tackle is certainly.
Well, the way the pass rushers are sort of just moved over to the other side, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, except for Jadeveon Clowney.
He's the man.
He'll just kill you.
I love him. I don't know why. Jadeveon Clowney is just like, yeah.
Because, the Cowboys, they definitely have the tools, though, for the next several years to almost run the NFC by themselves.
Hey, we're going to have, let me put it like this.
NFC.
Dak Prescott will have more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers.
That's a bold statement. We'll look at that in 20 years, okay?
many
Join us on the Rines Report in 20 years.
I'm going to say that. I'm just saying, Aaron Rodgers is 33, Dak is 23. Aaron Rodgers only has one.
I got Aaron Rodgers getting probably. I got Aaron Rodgers playing for 7 more years, man.
7?
Yeah. The way that look at Brady. He's gonna be 40 after the season's over with.
Brady has 2-3 years left. I'm telling.
I'm not saying he's playing. I'm not saying he's playing for 7 more years. I'm just saying that he's.
I got Brady playing
till he's 50.
I really do. No, because I mean, you look at it, the majority of quarterbacks who hit their sudden decline, Brady's already past that.
Yeah.
Brady's already hit, and I'm not even just talking age-wise, I'm talking about years he's been in-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Brady should have already hit a decline
Somewhere.
if he was going
Yeah.
to.
And he hasn't.
No.
He's throwing darts.
And I
like
hate
that. Still. Like
I
never,
hate it.
Is that I hate the Patriots? I heard on the radio the other day, somebody goes, we need to make sure, or they go, he goes, all our Americans, we need to come together to make sure that we vote against the Patriots. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Vote against. Vote
I'm like,
against. them.
I don't hate the Patriots. I mean, granted, honestly, if I had to pick a winner for this,
I hate the Patriots.
I don't know. I love seeing like it was like LeBron after the first 2 or 3 rings.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I hate LeBron. But the more he kept winning,
Yeah, you
I
start
want
to,
to
like,
see
like
him
it.
continue to win. Because
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is crazy. That's a Tom Brady is for me.
And we'll get to the Super Bowl. We've been talking about the Cowboys for the last half an hour, technically.
just like
America's
most people were
team,
wasting
baby.
our time.
America's team.
Based on my list, and that's a joke at this point, by the way.
America's team, baby.
So,
They're not.
but
yeah.
I have Zeke winning Rookie of the Year. Dak is most valuable because we saw that statistically by the numbers. I've talked about this multiple times regarding the Cowboys. Is that they put up almost 5 yards a carry without a quarterback, but they still don't win games. So with Dak, they win games. So to move on from the Cowboys now, we're gonna get right to your Raiders. And we're gonna talk about what do the Raiders need to do this
America's
offseason.
real team.
Really?
The American underdog.
The real America's team.
But yeah, since we've been talking about the Cowboys for the last half hour, so we're going to make this at least like 10-ish minutes.
It's cool. Let's do it.
Because the Super Bowl is going to be most of our chat.
Let's do it.
Oakland Raiders off-season needs. They need to. Well, firstly, I think they need to re-sign Malcolm Smith, the linebacker, and they needed right tackle like we were talking about, and cornerbacks. So who they need?
Absolutely need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think the best free agent fit for cornerback for the Oakland Raiders is Stephon Gilmore from Buffalo if he hits the open market.
I haven't even looked at free agents yet. I haven't even decided what I'm going to say about what's going to go on free agency. No, I've given up. I think I told you this. I've given up trying to judge which cornerbacks are going to be good.
Really?
Yeah, I don't put any more time into it.
Nah, I wouldn't either because they
Because
wishy-washy.
I never know.
It's really like down to every year.
Yeah,
Here for your sake, I pulled it up.
I'm like, this dude's going to be great, and then he ends up being terrible.
Those are the corners that are supposed to hit the open market this year.
Brandon Carr is definitely getting re-signed.
Mm-hmm.
Prince Amukamara would cost too much.
And talking about as well,
Yeah,
besides just corner though, the offensive tackle, the Patriots, I'm sure they're letting go Sebastian Vollmer.
DJ
Having Sebastian Vollmer on the right tackle position for the Oakland Raiders would be a great spot.
Hey, Kirkpatrick, nice.
Yeah, I just like I said, I don't.
But
I've given up.
from year to year, you don't know.
Prince
like Revis.
Amukamara is too expensive.
I mean, he was hurt
Claiborne
most of the season.
too.
Man, but
See,
yeah, Gilmore looks like a good move.
Because he plays pretty well. I liked him in man coverage a lot during the season.
I also honestly think we should get rid of DJ Hayden.
He's gonna be hitting free agency.
Good. DJ Hayden it comes to the point where when you're not getting better at all, you just need to stop, or at least we
Go
need
to a
to
new
stop
team.
investing what we're investing
in a guy
DJ
that's
Hayden.
not moving anywhere.
Like pretty much like almost any receiver we've ever had. You remember when Al Davis decided that he wanted to just sign the fastest receivers on the planet?
Darius Hayward Bay.
Jacoby Ford. Like people also seem to forget that Jacoby Ford ran track.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he beat what's his name? He beat Chris Johnson in college.
What?
Really?
Yeah, he did. Jacoby Ford.
That says a lot.
Jacoby Ford was fast. Well, you know how people forget about Jacoby Ford? That dude was quick.
He was
I
amazing.
did forget.
He was
I forgot.
speedy. Yeah, because
Every time I'd play Madden, I'd put him as my kick returner.
Oh yeah, always.
yeah,
every
Hayward
time.
Bay.
Send him on a fly route.
Fast,
Send him on a fly
terrible
route.
catching.
Couldn't catch the ball.
Horrible
to save
hands.
his life.
Jacoby Ford, incredibly fast, terrible hands.
Yeah.
So the way I look at them is the
Oh,
way
wait,
I look at
Denarius Moore too. Don't forget about him.
I don't want to talk about Terrance Schoefield. So you can. I think the Raiders for a long time. That's what we did. We put a lot of energy into physically gifted people and hoped that they would become the talent that we need.
I
Like a
bet.
Terrell Pryor.
Heck, I'd even bet
Terrell Pryor is a beast.
I would even say that if they had the chance, they would have taken RG3 in that draft because he likes to throw the ball deep. He's fast. He's a super athlete who can.
I hate RG3. I'm from Northern Virginia. I told people so many times that RG3 was going to be garbage, and all my Redskins fans friends were like, "You don't even know. You're a Raiders fan." And at this time, you couldn't argue that.
Yeah.
Because I think our quarterback was Jason Campbell. So.
Oh goodness, Jason
my God.
Campbell.
Then we had Carson Palmer, who was somehow really good
but
but
didn't
really
like
bad at
playing
the
football.
same time. I don't get that. And then he went to the Cardinals
When
and
you and
decided
I talked about it, it was like he just sometimes would pretend like he wanted to play football, and other times he like really liked playing football.
no, he doesn't like football. I think he likes it now, but the Cardinals were really disappointing this season.
Oh,
so
I thought they were gonna like be a
a
playoff
lot
contender.
of people thought they were going to be like
They got injured.
high playoffs, but they were not.
Well, David Johnson still tried to carry that team by himself almost.
He's a beast.
Yes. But I'm definitely thinking for the offensive tackle, Sebastian Vollmer, because I think the Patriots let him go. We re-signed Marcus Cannon to a good little deal. He's had injuries, but if you guys get him for health, like if he stays healthy, he's a solid tackle. And I could definitely see him working well with that offense.
Yeah,
Possibly.
and I've told you before. I think power run is how I would run an offense.
Yeah.
So,
But
going,
like the rest
going
of,
as high of an offensive line as
but
possible.
like what you were saying is like the offensive lines nowadays, like the pass rush has moved over to the right side, the right ends. You know what I mean? Like J.J. Watt, Von Miller, even Khalil Mack. They move over to the other side of the ball. The left tackles are a little more. It's transitioned back and forth. It's just flip flop. So if you have a good pass blocking tight end, Sebastian Vollmer is, who can still play the run. You have Donald Penn, Kelechi Osemele. You have a number of good guys on the left side of the line who can still.
so good.
Kelechi Osemele's a beast.
He's so good.
He's a Pro Bowler.
I was gonna say I think Latavius Murray goes to free agency this year. Which, if we're being honest, that's our number one offseason.
Number one.
Number one. I don't
He's
care
nice.
what
He's
he
nice.
is. And Derek Carr has already come out and said to the Raiders ownership and everything that he wants Latavius Murray.
It doesn't. From what I see here,
so he
it
can
does
do
not
that. He's a
say he
LeBron.
is.
He's a LeBron.
Oh
and go
no,
to the
you're
front
right.
office.
He is hitting free agency.
Derek Carr has already come out and said re-sign Latavius Murray.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's Derek Carr.
Yeah.
So he's
Come
a
on.
LeBron. So I guess
No, I'm talking about
go to the
Latavius
front
Murray.
office and
No,
say-
I know. I mean, Derek Carr. I think the second Derek Carr said, "Give me Latavius Murray."
They're like, we're gonna get him.
yeah, absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
gotta. The thing is, though, getting him for a good price, because
I think he'll do it.
He gonna want his money, though.
I think he'll take a pay cut to play there.
yeah, because
I
he
think-
realizes
So
the
you don't think
potential.
nobody else will pay him
No, they'll pay
They
him.
will, but I don't think he'll want it. I think he'll choose to stay where he's at.
because he can win, or
How can you be
Yeah,
that close
how
to
could-
being
how-
a Super Bowl contender?
I mean, look how far we got with so many flaws on our team.
Yeah, that's the thing you got to consider with the
With
Raiders.
very few, I mean that's the one thing the Patriots have always been great at is they have areas where you're like they could be better there, right? But it doesn't matter.
Still win.
And all great teams are like that. The
Unfortunately.
Packers are always the Packers.
Unfortunately.
The Packers, the Steelers, the Patriots are always like that.
Yeah.
So many flaws, but they still get to where they get. With that team,
because
with
they
that amount of
perfect what they're
youth,
good at.
getting
The
to that
Raiders.
point with that many flaws, that's gonna be something special. That's what trips me out.
I'm excited to see what the Raiders do. I've told you a number of times that I was upset when Derek Carr got hurt because I wanted to play them in the playoffs. I really did.
they would have beat y'all. I'm telling you, they would
it-
have beat y'all.
I don't know.
It's
We
Khalil
won't
Mack
find,
is that.
We
Khalil
won't
Mack
find
is that
out.
guy.
We won't find out until the regular season next year.
The sad thing, yeah,
Because
Mexico City,
in Mexico City.
Mexico City,
And that's going to be a neutral field. You know what I mean? That's going to be like that good
It's
stage.
not really. If anything, it's more to us.
Well, yeah, but like if you think about it, it's more.
Aren't we like the third biggest team in Mexico?
I'm pretty sure
Behind, I think.
the Texans.
Yeah, I think no, I think so. I think it's behind the Texans and behind the another California team.
Probably the Niners.
Something like that. But we're like, yeah, they're like, there's almost more Raider fans than every other team in the NFL in Mexico.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Which I can see.
kind of
You know
leaning
what I mean?
towards us.
But it
and
gives
it's
you
a
guys.
way shorter trip.
It gives you guys that advantage, I suppose. But it's more like it's still
I
in
mean,
a way.
we played
it's,
terrible there.
in a
last
way,
time.
though, it's still a neutral play.
We played terrible against the Texans there,
and still won.
and we
Amari Cooper.
how scared. Yeah. Oh my God.
I love Amari.
Oh my
Cooper.
God! When he
He's a
caught
man.
when he caught that ball, and the turf had been messing up all night.
Yeah.
So when he caught that ball, I'm like, what's he gonna do? And somehow he cut in and blew past
Takes off.
Everybody.
His speed is ridiculous.
Everybody, he's such a beast.
Every Alabama
he's
receiver.
such a beast. Amari Cooper's just. Did you ever hear Skip Bayless make that crazy comment where he was like, "I think that the Cowboys should trade Des Bryant
For Amari
Cooper." I was like, dude, the
No.
Raiders are not that dumb to trade Amari. I'm not saying Des Bryant's not amazing, but where they're
Hey,
at
I
in
would-
their careers, you guys would love that trade.
Amari Cooper. Oh my God.
You guys would. The Cowboys.
I can just see his mouth water from
What? Oh, I'm telling you, like, man, it's like a good old
Cowboys would
sandwich.
love the Cowboys would be like, we just ditched Dez's contract, Dez's attitude
off the field issues
for
Amari Cooper.
That'd be, everyone was looking at Skip like, Skip, you're not going to put this idea in people's heads because he's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, huge Cowboys.
He was like, we'll
fanboy.
take Amari. No, you won't.
Oh, Skip.
I know he's a funny fellow.
He's an interesting character for Fox.
Skip Bayless.
Him and Shannon Sharp, they go back and forth a lot.
I love Shannon Sharp.
24/7.
I'm surprised how great Shannon Sharp is.
Yeah.
At that, like
He
I
done
actually,
pretty good.
He's had plenty of
yeah,
years training,
ESPN,
too.
yeah, like
He was at
I
the-
mean,
but I
think it was
mean,
CBS
actually
at
just
this
sitting
point.
there
Yeah.
having those comments, like, and also he's a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Sharp is, I think, mentally, I think he's ahead of Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith got
Whoa.
big. Stephen A. Smith got big words, and Stephen A. Smith knows basketball. Which
And he knows how to
basketball's my favorite
debate.
sport. So I appreciate Stephen A. Smith's experience and knowledge on the topic, but I think Shannon Sharp goes better with. But I hate Max Keller.
so you think
for,
that Shannon Sharp goes better with Skip
Skip?
Bayless than Stephen A. did?
Mainly because I think Skip's afraid of Shannon Sharp.
I'd be afraid of Shannon Sharp. He's
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
for me. Dude, it's
Yeah,
huge.
but Stephen A.
He's
Stephen
also
A's
got a. By the way, he also
Like,
has a
how many
suit
times have you seen Skip Bayless in the last year go, stop it?
Yeah, but that's the point though. That's why it was so
He ain't gonna
good.
shake that table.
Yeah,
with
but
Shannon
that's
Sharp
why it was
on the
good,
other
though.
end.
Shannon would have his hands like this and it wouldn't move.
Yeah, no, I don't think it did though. I think what made First Take good was hearing obnoxious things from Skip.
Yeah.
and then hearing Stephen A.
Just attack him.
Just go ridiculous on him. How dare you? That's blasphemy. And
Blasphemy.
But Stephen A. usually does know basketball way
Well, yeah.
more than Skip. I
Yeah.
hate hearing Skip talk.
Skip. Oh, it's my Spurs. Oh no, it's the Cavs.
That man doesn't know anything about basketball.
So, now we're gonna get into the last part of our show, which I'm sure will run the length that we have left, about 20 minutes.
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl,
Oof.
because we have our esteemed guests here, and I would love to have you guys on again next week. By the way, before the Super Bowl lead up,
I'll
because
be
I
here.
know
I'm
it's gonna
always
be a
on.
little different. Yeah, you're always on.
I'm always on.
You're always on. We love Nick here, but I definitely love to have you again, Terrance.
I'll be here.
It'll be fun because I'll have 2 other guests come in before you guys come in because you guys' schedules just work out the same way.
Right.
So I'll have I'm hopefully gonna have Ray and we'll have Mark come again, and I'm gonna keep track of the scores and whatnot of
Okay.
y'all's predictions. It'll be a good time. Or we can talk about the Pro Bowl. What do you guys think?
Are they still doing that?
Yeah, they do this.
Are they still doing legend coaches?
Yeah, they
Who
are.
are they?
I don't like
They
the
would
Pro
have
Bowl.
Tony Gonzalez. I think Ray Lewis.
I got excited the first year they did
I don't like
legend
the Pro Bowl.
coaches. Did you? The first year they were
It
like
was
legends or...
well, for me, it was more interesting seeing the
I don't
fantasy
understand why they
football.
switched it either.
The
Yeah,
fantasy
I
thing.
was more interested to hear what like Dion had to say about certain players. Like
Yeah.
it didn't matter who he picked. I just wanted to hear him talk about certain players.
Yeah.
So it was like,
It was interesting.
yeah, it was. But now it's just as sad as it's always been.
Yeah, but
It's
why?
gone-
That's
well,
because
they added the skills challenge to make it more interesting, though. So I'm just saying
They
it
stole that
was-
from the NBA.
No. They
Right.
were doing. They used to do it before, and then they stopped
What
doing
are the
it for a
skills?
while.
But if
They
they
was like-
would've-
had a
if they would've
passing challenge.
kept it after the
they did
Super
make things
Bowl.
interesting. They had a dodgeball game. It was pretty funny.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, like they added technology into it too, and they
They got like baskets. Is that what the throwing challenge is? Baskets in the corner?
or no, it was like it's like a gigantic
Like Aaron Rodgers. Have you seen those videos?
Aaron Rodgers,
well, not bad.
his accuracy is
It-
crazy.
dropping
His
dimes.
accuracy
But-
is crazy.
Well, it was similar because they had like these big things. You like throw the football, and like it smacked through like a paper or whatever, and you count your points and stuff. It was pretty cool. I think Philip Rivers won it actually.
If they would have kept the
Phil
Pro
Rivers
Bowl
drops
after the Super
dimes.
Bowl, we would have been good.
What was that?
If they would have kept the Pro Bowl after the Super Bowl, it would be better.
Yeah, did you see Amari Cooper isn't playing because of injury.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack isn't playing because of injury. I'm not even worried about it. They're all smart.
What was it? Oh yeah, another really cool one was they had I think Odell Beckham won it, but it was like catching a ball from like a certain height, and they took these drones.
Of course Odell Beckham
but they
won
took
it.
them
Yeah.
up to like 8. It was
Like
like
that's-
80, like 100, 125 feet.
That's Odell all day.
Odell Beckham
Every
won
time.
it. The man's a monster.
Every single time.
Oh, I hate Odell Beckham. Can we talk about Odell Beckham for 60 seconds?
You all right? We'll give Nick his 60-second rant. All right, and wait. I just want to time it. All right, go.
I hate Odell Beckham so much. like honestly, his attitude combined with his skill, he is a risk to reward player who I don't like because I.
But would
think-
you take that risk?
Would I take that risk? No, because he's detrimental to a locker room. He's Terrell Owens if Terrell Owens wasn't as good as Terrell Owens was, and I've said that before. T.O. in his prime or Odell Beckham in his prime? Who you taking?
Oh, I'm taking T.O. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm taking
It's
T.O.
ridiculous.
all day, every day.
People are like, oh, well, he's the new T.O. No, he's not the new T.O. Be quiet. He's had a couple good years. We don't know what's going to happen to him. If he keeps punching stuff, he's going to end up like Amari
Kissing the
Stoudemire.
field goal.
Nobody's going to want him anymore. Yeah, the dude, he's not good enough, and he's not experienced enough, which is one of the
Experience. He's good enough, but the experience is
things. I
not
don't even
there.
think he's good enough.
Come on, man.
I've seen him do some crazy things. I've also seen David Tyree do some crazy things.
Don't compare him to David
No,
Tyree.
you get 10 more
Okay,
seconds.
Do
honestly,
not
let's
compare him
just
to
say
David
that.
Tyree.
I say that
No,
catch,
sir.
that catch that
5,
Odell Beckham made with his little fingers and pulling back
That's
was
not
less,
David
was
Tyree.
less impressive than
All
David
right,
Tyree's
and
catch.
that's your minute
Against-
for Odell
who was
Beckham.
No.
Who was Harrison?
No. Come
Who
on,
was
man.
their safety? Who was the Patriots safety?
For it was Rodney Harrison.
Yeah.
Rodney
Okay.
Harrison.
Making that catch against Rodney
That's
Harrison in the
disrespect.
Super Bowl against a 16-0
That's
team
disrespect.
is way more impressive.
At that time, 18. 18.
Yeah, 18-0. That was way more culturally significant and impressive than Odell Beckham's catch.
Disrespect,
All right, so now we're moving on because
Let's debate that next week.
That's disrespect. I'm sorry.
we can talk about that.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
How many recreations did you see of Odell Beckham's catch?
a ton.
How many recreations did you see of David Tyree's catch?
None.
Because you can't recreate it.
Not with Rodney Harrison.
Do you remember that catch? I know you remember, but you remember it.
I remember it.
Like, do you
I was
remember
there.
it?
I remember it. I'm telling
You
you.
don't remember it? I'm sure he remembers it.
No, of course I do.
If you don't remember it, then you
I
don't
cried.
know.
I was like 10 years old. I cried.
I remember watching it. I'm like, did he catch that? No, you can't catch it with your helmet because this is when we were little, so we didn't know the real rules.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't catch it with that's illegal. And I'm like, no, that's completely legal. There's
Yeah.
a sticker on the back of his helmet.
Yeah. So now that you've had your now 2-minute rant.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I had to get it off.
Well, I mean that's why we enjoy Nick. He's very colorful with his commentary.
I gotta do it.
Now we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Now I'm not gonna ask for the scores, but I do want to ask for you guys' picks. So because you guys know who I'm picking. You guys both. You're funny. Because you know I got the Patriots.
What's your score though?
The score? It'll fluctuate from here to like next week. I'm sure. I think it's probably gonna be a 10-point game.
Do you think it'll be a 10-point game, Patriots take the lead and hold it? Or do you think it'll be a 10-point game, back and forth lead change?
Not back and forth lead change. 10 points is like 7-point lead change back and forth is a little more reasonable. 10 points is like you have to
gotta do a
two
little bit more.
possessions.
Yeah.
apiece
But
to
with
do it.
that offense, with both those offenses.
It's possible.
The
but
number one offense.
It's not likely. So I think it's my score now.
Julio.
Julio's so good.
Julio.
Who's strapping
Y'all not
Julio?
gonna stop him.
Who's strapping
Malcolm
Julio?
Butler. No, sir. You're not doing it.
Malcolm Butler wants it. But
He wants it, but
Malcolm
he can't take
Butler
it.
wants it.
He can't take it. No, sir.
For right now, my January 27th.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be.
Where's what day is Super Bowl?
It's the 5th.
5th, yeah.
I'm taking the Patriots, 34-24. I think
I
think Belichick and Patricia do a good enough
Do you
job.
really think the Patriots are going to
Gonna stop that. They put up some points, man.
That's what I want to ask, because you're a Patriots fan, so you're used to winning.
As an analyst, though, I even look at it and I think they have more.
Cowboys,
more
we
tools.
win too.
Because I come down and I look at it and I think about the defenses, and I think the Patriots defense is better.
But
and
Vic
Matt
Beasley-
Ryan,
Patriots defense is better coached.
I also think
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's better coached.
better coach.
It's
I agree
better
with that because Belichick. It's Belichick.
so.
If they
Because
had
Desmond Trufant isn't playing, and
Your
because he's
defense
hurt.
isn't overflowing with talent. Let's not.
But what about who are the Falcons?
Vic
They have
Beasley.
Vic Beasley.
and he number one. He got
But the thing
most
is,
sacks.
he had the most sacks in the league without J.J. Watt, so I'm not giving him a ton of credit where it's deserved.
Y'all so disrespectful.
Yeah, and you don't
gotta
know how
give
many,
credit when
sacks
credit is
J.J. Watt
due.
would have got.
J.J. Watt averages close to 20 sacks.
Y'all
a
gotta
season.
give
Yeah,
credit,
you don't know
man.
what
He
he got
did
with
it
a
though.
back
Vic
injury
Beasley
and-
did it.
I'm not saying Vic Beasley isn't a great player. I'm just saying that like he wouldn't be the leading sack leader. He wouldn't be the sack leader this season if J.J. Watt was on the field. That's
I don't
all
agree
I'm
with
saying.
that.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not
I
denying
don't
that
know.
Vic Beasley's a good player. I'm just saying in general,
'Cause he
they're
still
not
did it.
as good as the Patriots defense.
Yeah, I
They
agree
have
with that.
they,
I
they
agree
have
with
a
that.
good defensive coach. They have Dan Quinn, who's a very good defensive coach. He
Dan
coached the
Quinn.
Seahawks for their first Super Bowl.
But
Or excuse me, no, he coached them the season in Super Bowl 49.
I
he
think
both. I think he won a Super Bowl.
He was there for 2013, 2014.
I think
Yeah.
this is a super evenly matched Super Bowl. Neither of your teams are. I don't think either of your defenses are that good, like player wise, but coach wise, your defenses are ridiculous. And offensively, they're incredible. And you guys
on
are
both
Patriots.
sides. Yeah, Patriots always been good.
Honestly, I got
offense.
them beaten.
We
you
stole.
guys.
Really?
I just thought about it.
Really?
I just thought about it. Jot it down. Falcons.
Alright.
Just came to me. I got them beating you guys, and I got them beating you. Oh, that's tough.
I say 36-28.
You think they're gonna score them? Who? Falcons or Patriots?
Falcons.
I don't think they're gonna score that many points.
You don't think so? 28.
You're looking at me like I'm
I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah, I think
because
36, 28 or 20.
I'm not saying the Falcons couldn't beat us.
They absolutely
can. I'm just thinking that it comes down
Who
to
stops Julio?
And I'm telling,
we stopped Antonio Brown.
But
this year Antonio
Julio.
Brown hasn't had the year Antonio
Exactly.
Brown's had.
Julio's a different breed. He's first of
I don't know
all,
about that.
Julio, Antonio Brown, height difference. Julio's faster. He definitely can catch as good as Antonio Brown, and he's more.
No, Antonio has the better hands.
He can't catch as good as
He can't catch as good as Antonio.
No.
You don't think so?
And this is what I know, and I know that he will.
He can. If not as good as just as. I mean, he's just as effective.
I wouldn't say he's a different breed at all. I would pick Antonio Brown over Julio Jones Monday through Sunday.
I couldn't do
personally.
that. I like size. He's
a beast. I'm not saying
I like
he's not a
size
beast.
and speed.
I'm just saying in this situation, I don't have anybody strapping.
If that was the case, they would have strapped. But they strapped Antonio Brown.
Yeah, but the Steelers were wishy-washy this year.
But it's Antonio Brown.
That's
We're not talking about the Steelers.
That's like saying they strapped Jordy Nelson. Yeah, you could strap Jordy Nelson, but then you'll have that occasional game where Jordy Nelson will make your whole squad look like they're seeing things, or Steve Smith.
Yeah, but you
can strap Steve Smith, but then he'll have games where he kills you.
You're saying that Antonio Brown is better, but the Patriots defense can stop him, but they can't stop Julio.
Are you sure about that? Because the last 4 times we played the Falcons, we beat them every time.
Yes. Yeah, that was before.
It
wasn't like this. The offense was not like this.
Where is Antonio Brown not as good as Julio?
I didn't say he wasn't as good.
I'm saying where? Like let's say like the argument my best friend makes with me about Calvin Johnson and Jerry Rice. He goes. There's no area that Jerry Rice is better than Calvin Johnson in. And it's true. It's if you look at it.
It's about the drive and what you have. Like in your mind about what you got and how you gonna go at it. It's about how you do it.
I told him when that ball goes up.
I'm
thinking Calvin Johnson
every day.
So when that ball goes up, who's coming down with it?
Julio.
Antonio Brown or
Julio?
Oof.
Julio.
That's so much closer.
So you tell me you throw a fly route. You throw a fly route. Who you going to?
I'm going to Antonio 100% of the time.
No, I'm not.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt of it being just size. But wait. I'm not done yet.
I'm hyped. I've always been hyped on Antonio Brown.
No, Antonio Brown's great.
I give him his credit.
The thing that Antonio does is he doesn't just beat you by being faster than you. He beats you by having better routes, better hands.
His routes are the best routes of all time. Have you seen that man?
And I still take Julio.
And he can change his route speed at any given point.
And Julio can.
And it don't matter where you put it.
But he'll come out of a route going like 80%, then he'll hit you going 100 doing
that's what they said. They said the craziest thing is his speed changes.
Yes.
Julio's going the time.
That's why I love him. All the time.
But imagine knowing off the break that you have to sprint. Imagine thinking you're guarding Antonio Brown just for him to fly past you, which he does, by the way.
And Julio doesn't.
But Julio's always flying past.
Always, every time.
But I think as a safety, it's easier.
In an article by the Players Tribune, I'm pretty sure it was Chris Harris Jr. and he's talking about the top 5 guys that are hardest people to defend. Antonio Brown was on that list because he was like, Antonio Brown doesn't just hit you with his fast routes, his great hands. He goes from like 70, 80% speed to 100 out of nowhere.
As a safety,
he doesn't just have
everybody accelerates.
He doesn't just have a second gear. He has like a third, a fourth.
Yeah.
The dude is ridiculous.
I'm saying as a safety playing a zone coverage, who would you rather have to defend against? Knowing that the corner's in man, who would you rather go up against? Julio or Antonio Brown?
I think you get a better idea of what Julio's going to do.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
Yeah, but you have to. Okay, you get a better idea
Antonio
of what Julio's going to do.
Because remember, you're in zone, so you're watching. You're trying to figure out where he's going to go.
If you're in zone, you're the safety back and the corner's right there on man-to-man.
And
It's about size, in my opinion, it's about size. Because even though Antonio Brown is fast, he got 70, 80 speed, he got so many gears, I understand that.
I got a point for you here then. So think about this. Size is all good and nice and all. You know what I mean? Like having a great vertical is all cool and all that. But you know what?
No, it's more than that.
It's more than that. But
Calvin Johnson had that.
Having a receiver who just catches the ball as great as Antonio Brown does, that's all you need.
It's true.
As a quarterback. Think about this. Because receivers are flashy, they're nice. The best analogy I like to use when talking about
the icing?
Yeah, is the icing on the cake. Because without a great team is an offensive line, great quarterback, great coaching, solid defense. The icing on the cake are the receivers. They're flashy, they're nice, they're super athletic, but you don't need Julio Jones to win you games. You don't need him. You don't
They
need,
wouldn't have won the games without
you
him.
just need guys who can catch the ball, which
Look
is
at Tom
why.
Brady.
And think about it, Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker. Think about
made
that.
them.
And they
agree with
leave, and except for Wes Welker.
Wes
Wes
had one
Welker,
good
yeah.
year.
Wes Welker had a good year outside of Brady because he went to Peyton Manning. So I give him that much.
You gotta have a good
And as a
quarterback.
slot receiver,
As
Peyton
a
Manning
slot
is your
receiver-
dream
Yes.
quarterback.
So I'm just saying, he makes guys better.
Yeah.
Danny Amendola doesn't even play all the time, but when Danny Amendola steps on the field, you watch Danny Amendola when he's playing with the Patriots.
He's not that
And he
good.
won't good with the Cowboys. I'm gonna
Danny
tell you that right
Amendola's
now.
not that good.
Not at all.
He's not that great. Heck,
No.
It's all
I'd
about the
argue
quarter-
to
it's
say
about
if
the
you
quarterback,
took Julian
though.
Edelman and put him on almost any other squad, that he would not be nearly the receiver he is with the Patriots.
That's because of Tom Brady.
I like Julian Edelman way more than I like.
But what I'm saying is, like, as a quarterback,
Way more.
all you need are guys who catch the ball. And Julian Edelman, Amendola,
That's
Welker,
true.
they catch the
It's
ball.
it's very true.
So, but would they catch the ball somewhere else?
I've seen Julio drop the ball.
I mean, it's like Michael Crabtree. Michael Crabtree, because Amari Cooper drops passes.
Yes.
Michael Crabtree, people got on him mainly because of Richard Sherman, which I'm still mad at Richard Sherman about. Remember, he's a mediocre receiver. Remember that? Everyone was like calling Crabtree mediocre.
Crabtree's a beast.
Crabtree can catch the ball. And Crabtree's not this astounding receiver.
He's
Like
not. He's not
everybody
going to
says
beat
he
you with
is.
his speed.
No.
He's not like the
He's a
biggest
possession
receiver on the
with-
field.
yeah,
But he
he's just
catches
in between.
He
Yeah.
catches the ball, which
So-
is why people love tight ends so much.
So in the same sense, Julio's great. He can catch, but he doesn't catch as well as Antonio Brown, which
No.
is the only argument we're saying. We're not saying that Julio Jones is not a good receiver. He's not. He's an elite
He's a
receiver.
monster.
He's a beast. I would love to have Julio on the Patriots, but if given the choice,
Okay, so who
I
you-
would rather take Antonio Brown
On the Patriots?
Yes, on the Patriots. I'd
On the
rather take
Patriots, absolutely.
because
He's a Wes
Antonio-
Welker, but he's a
Antonio
better
Brown.
Wes Welker. I would take him too.
He's the best.
With Tom Brady, yeah, that's
if you
But I can't think of very many quarterbacks who would take. To be honest, you know who I think was as crazy would love
Belichick would
Julio
probably
Jones?
get rid of him.
You know who I think would take Julio Jones over who he has is Ben Roethlisberger. I think Ben Roethlisberger
Because dude
would
is-
take Julio Jones over
because he just wants those
Antonio
big
Brown.
physical receivers.
Oh yeah, I think Ben and Julio would just be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It'd
That-
be too much.
It would be
And
ridiculous.
Antonio with like Aaron Rodgers would just. That's crazy.
That-
I can't even talk about it.
we we play the what if game here and
I
there,
can't
but
even talk about it.
we use the what if game, in a sense of like to prove arguments.
Absolutely.
But now, given our arguments, what you've heard here today,
What you've heard from two masterminds of the game.
I'm not saying that, but who's better, Antonio or Julio?
Well, I don't think who's better was the question.
Well, no. What was the original question?
Who
You
would
deviated
take-
The
so
question
far.
was who? Well,
Who
yeah.
would you
the original
take?
question was who would you take, and if it's going up, who's coming down with it?
Yeah.
Those are the two
So
questions.
who do you take? Now
I'm still
you're still.
I respect to take Julio. I mean, honestly, 'cause
I'm
I'm
sorry.
not saying it's.
let's say
Because
who-
you can't-
who are the top three receivers in the league?
It's Antonio Brown, Julio, and
Hopkins.
no, I don't know Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins is so good.
But he is
I
very
feel
good.
so bad for DeAndre Hopkins.
He
Having
has
played
no
with Brock
quarterback.
Osweiler.
Yes.
Oh my
And
goodness.
even with Brock Osweiler, he's putting up semi-good stats.
Mm-hmm.
Did he hit 1,000 yards? I know he was close.
DeAndre.
Uh-huh. I think last time I saw him, he was somewhere in upper 800s.
But who do you have at number 3 for the receivers? I would argue to say AJ Green. I think he makes Andy Dalton that much better.
Oh, I forgot about AJ. AJ was the number one receiver.
Everybody forgets about AJ.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
He's a monster.
Yeah, AJ was the number one receiver like most of the season. Then he got hurt.
But I don't think I would take
His
AJ
stats
Green.
wise,
I don't think
yeah.
I would take AJ Green over Julio.
Yeah, me either.
But
No,
he's a
not
beast.
over them, but he would be a top 3.
So he's better.
Oh.
So AJ Green is better than DeAndre.
Yes. I would definitely
I think
take AJ
DeAndre,
Green
but
before DeAndre.
the only reason I won't say that is because
I think-
we haven't seen the best of DeAndre because he hasn't had any type of quarterback.
In this season, he had 78 receptions, DeAndre Hopkins. He had 78 receptions, 54 yards, and he averaged 12 yards a catch.
Yeah, with
4 touchdowns.
like
Brock
with
Osweiler,
Brock
Tom
Osweiler throwing you the
Savage.
ball
So imagine
980
if he had
yards.
Tom Brady or
DeAndre
or
Hopkins?
Dak. Yeah, exactly.
he'd be phenomenal.
So
I
he
think
hasn't
I-
had the chance.
But-
I think I'd pick DeAndre Hopkins over AJ Green.
Yes.
I don't know. For me, I feel like they're pretty close. In
If
this
he had a
sense.
quarterback, DeAndre Hopkins hasn't had the
they're
chance to have a quarterback.
980 yards with the worst quarterback in the league. And if you say Brock Osweiler, who's don't even look at me like that. Who's worse than Brock Osweiler? Tell me right now.
Chase Keenum.
I think I would take Case Keenum over Brock Osweiler. If we're being honest, I hate Brock. Like with a passion, I really hate him. Like I genuinely hate him. Like I'd hit him.
6'8"
If there
for
were one
nothing.
player I would
6'7",
hit,
whatever, however tall he is.
if I could hit one player in the face,
It'd
it would
Brock
be between
Osweiler.
it would be between Ben Roethlisberger and Brock Osweiler.
So not Odell though, because Odell would chase you down.
I got Odell throwing hands, but I think he's a sissy. How much more time? Can I rant one more time? I hate Odell.
We still have about 5 minutes left in the broadcast. We still, like, you got close to saying your score, and you didn't give it to me, but you did pick
Okay,
Atlanta.
I got the Falcons. I don't think I have a score.
You don't have a score?
No, if I had to give you one now, I'll let you know.
Give me one. If you give me one now, you can change it by next week. I'm not like holding.
That's true. I do have another week. Okay, I would go with Falcons.
Okay.
Oh man, for some reason I got Tom Brady having a bad game.
I hope so.
I got him having a bad. No, honestly, I think I'm going.
What do you think, man?
I think I'm going 31.
I will give you the chance to change it next week, so you have time to think.
Can I be honest with you? I think I'm going 31-10.
31.
Oh
to
my
10,
God!
Atlanta.
I got Tom
That's
Brady.
nah,
I got
man.
Tom
Tom
Brady
Brady's
having
going
a-
to score.
No, I
that's
got-
disrespectful,
I
bro.
think-
The
no.
defense is not
when
that
it comes
good.
when it comes to my pick, I just
Do you,
picked
do you remember the Broncos Seahawks game?
Okay,
But the Broncos-
but the
think about it.
Broncos
Think about-
defense.
Think about it. Look at the Broncos offense, and look what. Now, granted, the Seahawks had a crazy defense. I'll give you that. But even as crazy of a defense as the Seahawks had, the Broncos offense should not have done that bad. In no world other than the world that we live in, would the Broncos have ever done that bad again.
No.
Right?
No.
I don't know.
That's because
But
once
now,
you get
I
down
got
so
the-
many
I got
points,
the-
it's over.
I got the
But
Falcons.
I do want to get his pick and score for this week. If you're gonna come back next week, I'll let you
Yeah, I
change
will.
it. You're picking your score.
I feel like it's gonna be.
If I'm the only guy who picks New England and we still, I'm gonna feel real hard pressed for all of y'all because I'm pieing y'all in the face.
No, I mean, I don't think it's blasphemy to pick against the Patriots.
No.
From what
I
we've
just
seen.
think that the Falcons are the underdogs in this game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the
And
Patriots.
that's why people want to pick for them. But I just feel like honestly, people are gonna. If you honestly think who's gonna win this game, most people I've talked to say the Patriots.
I mean, just look inside your heart. Do you really see?
I don't
Tom
have
Brady?
a heart. I'm a Patriots.
Do you
fan.
really see? Do you,
What? Okay, yes, sir. You are a Patriots fan. You do not have a heart.
honestly,
You do
I'm
not
serious.
have a heart.
Just look inside.
Cheaters.
Look inside the prediction self.
Yeah.
Do you really see Tom Brady? I got him, man. I got him going down in like the beginning of the second quarter. I got you guys having.
If he get hit, if Big Beasley gets to him,
I got him scoring first drive. Okay, first
Beasley
drive,
tearing
first
him up.
drive score. He gets smacked end of the first quarter.
I'm gonna put you on pause real quick,
Put me on
just
pause.
because I need to get his prediction for this week at least.
It's gonna happen.
That's all.
happen. Oh, I got it. Look inside yourself.
This is the Rines report, not the Penninger place.
Look inside yourself.
I need you to get me one.
place.
Okay, I'ma
That's
say-
a dope name.
Yeah, I know, right? It's really cheesy.
34-26,
Who?
Falcons.
Falcons. 34.
34-26. I can see that.
You can't see Tom Brady having a bad game.
No, it's Tom Brady. I hate him,
No.
but I got to state facts. It's Tom Brady. He's going to score
So as
at
it
least
tallies
2 or
up-
3.
So as it tallies up right now, we have 3 people for the Falcons and myself for the
How
Patriots.
about the Packers though?
The Packers?
The Packers
How
will
about the
what?
Packers against Falcons? How much do you have the Packers scoring? How much did the majority of people have the Packers scoring on the
Yeah,
Falcons?
you're right. But that looks like it's going to be about almost all the time we have for this today's Ryan's report. But I would like to thank you guys very much for showing up. Nick, of course, once again. You can shake my hand or you can not. You can just look at me with disdain because I'm a Patriot.
I shook his hand.
He shook my hand. And Terrance as well. Thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
coming on
Yes,
the
sir.
show.
No
I'll be
problem.
seeing you guys again next week. Join us next week for our final day of Super Bowl coverage leading up to the big game. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Stay safe. Don't drink too much. And happy Pro Bowl, guys. Enjoy.
Happy Pro Bowl.
Happy Pro Bowl.